contributions, having the shelter can help a lot.
Welcome to Pathways Family Shelter. I'm Megan Kemmis.
And I'm Karen Harkin. Thank you very much for joining Homeward Bound to the Grand Valley. We're very excited to show you our innovative new facility and introduce you to some of the supportive services that will be available at no cost to the most vulnerable members of our community.
As the only homeless shelter between Salt Lake City and Denver, we house over 3,000 families and individuals annually, with some projections showing that we could serve as many as 4,500 next year.
With operational costs increasing by 40%, we can't do this without you. Over 80% of our gifts come from individuals, businesses, and foundations. Your continued support will ensure that services are available to help people as they transition from homelessness into a long-term, permanent housing solution.
We hope you enjoy this inside look at Pathways Family Shelter as you learn about some of the services and hear from some of the individuals that your contributions will help on their pathway home.
I've lived in Grand Junction for more than 20 years, and during that time, homelessness has been a growing concern for our community. The price of housing, whether it's rents or home ownership, has risen substantially in that time period, and wages have not kept pace. For example, in 1998, the average rent for a two-bedroom apartment in Grand Junction was just over $500. Today, it's over $1,000. Similarly, the median price of a single-family home in 1998 was just over $100,000. Today, that number is almost $275,000. And what we know in our community, being a service-based economy, is that not everyone's wages have kept pace with those massive increases in the price of housing. As our community began to realize the need for a response to the homelessness issue in our community and the need for a shelter and more robust services, in the early part of the 2000s, the Grand Junction Housing Authority gifted the North Avenue Shelter Facility to the founding members of Homeward Bound of the Grand Valley. As the capacity of the shelter became strained in the early years of providing services, the staff and the board members of Homeward Bound of the Grand Valley realized that more was needed for our community in order to address the problem. With an increased understanding of the need for more supports and services for the homeless population in order to provide them a pathway for the future, the staff and the board of Homeward Bound began walking down the road toward the development of the Pathways campus.
The Pathways Family Shelter is the final phase of the Pathways campus, a project that began in 2014 with the construction of the Pathways Village Apartments, a 40-unit permanent supportive housing project that houses families and individuals from the homeless population here in the Grand Valley. The Pathways Family Shelter provides an additional 18,644 square feet of shelter space for homeless individuals and programming space for low-income and homeless individuals, as well as for the residents of the Pathways Village Apartments. This shelter is a unique facility. It's the first of its kind in the Western United States, completely designed and built from the ground up to trauma-informed design principles. Trauma-informed design has 7 guiding principles. In building the Pathways Family Shelter, we focused on 3 of those principles: dignity, privacy, and control. All of the people we serve here at the Pathways Family Shelter are affected by trauma of one sort or another. By focusing on dignity, privacy, and control, we create a healthy environment that moves the people we serve towards self-sufficiency. Here's how the team at Homeward Bound has put these principles into practice.
Now we'd like to take you on a tour and show you how we've implemented these principles into the physical spaces in the building. Let's begin with the places where people live and sleep in the building. Our dormitories are set up in such a way that we have privacy barriers between each set of beds. Along with that, we have underbed storage so that they have a place for their belongings. This creates a sense of privacy and control. The dorm spaces are designed with large windows that bring the outside in. Right next to the dorms, we have laundry rooms with washers and dryers available for our guests. Having laundry services contributes to the guests having a sense of dignity and control. We have designated study areas where guests can do homework, write resumes, or spend their free time. Each of the dorm floors incorporates 9 individual access-controlled restrooms. Unlike common communal restrooms, these individual rooms provide families and guests with privacy and control. A state-of-the-art kitchen with more efficient space and workflow enables us to serve over 100,000 meals a year for our guests. All of these features were designed to promote healthy lifestyles both mentally and physically. For the most vulnerable members of our community, this includes an on-site wellness center that reduces barriers to accessing health care.
Having an embedded clinic at the Homeward Bound at the Pathways Family Shelter makes so much sense because we can deliver care where the target population lives and near where the other shelter exists so that we can provide services to this vulnerable population in a way that is accessible, affordable, available, and provide all of the resources with wraparound services as much as integrated behavioral health, a family navigator to help connect to other resources. A clinic delivered in the shelter will allow all of the care providers to work together to ensure that follow-up care, referrals, and other important services required for optimal health can be delivered and followed through with.
One of the things that makes this collaborative project so exciting are the effects that we expect in the future. This clinic project will allow us to expand services to the homeless population and low income and populations at risk. It will provide a place of continuity as opposed to in the past we've been going for a short outreach period. Now we're going to have a clinic that lives somewhere and has a space for continuity care for this population that is accessible and can feel like their own. We also, with this collaboration, are teaching, and that teaching is going to provide a new generation of providers who realize the importance of healthcare in this population setting.
Colorado Mesa University has a variety of health science and social sciences students who will be able to benefit from the experience of this clinic. So we have nurses and nurse practitioners, physician assistants, social work students, as well as counseling psychology students, all able to come and learn from the professional team that will be providing direct, primary, integrated behavioral health care to clients and guests of the Pathways Family Shelter.
We know healthcare is very important, not just for physical health, but for mental and social well-being. We are going to be providing sober living services in collaboration with MindSprings. We're very excited about the expanse of services that we're going to be able to provide at this clinic.
One of the things about homelessness is that you can't really talk about homelessness without talking about mental health and substance abuse issues. There's some estimates that suggest that about 80% of individuals who are suffering from homelessness suffer from some type of substance use disorder. MindSprings Health is really excited to partner with Homeward Bound of the Grand Valley and Pathways in order to provide support for individuals with substance use disorders. One of the ways that Pathways is dealing with this issue is providing sober living opportunities. This allows individuals with substance use disorders to be in a safe and secure environment that allows them to work on substance use disorder issues as well as have secure housing while they are in treatment programs. Through our partnership with Marillac Clinic here at Pathways, we'll be able to provide opportunities to decrease access to care issues for healthcare, such as transportation or childcare. We really want to promote health equity for all individuals receiving services here. By doing this, we're working together to help solve the problem of homelessness in our community.
Well, we started living out in Mac. I had some wage garnishments happen, which caused me not able to pay rent. So we were evicted in late January. We came back into Grand Junction, went to Homeward Bound.
One of the things that can be cumbersome with finding housing is if you have evictions, it's not very eviction friendly. So having the shelter and the pathways, it can help a lot. The onsite health center is going to help a lot of people who don't know about like what's out there for medical. And I've heard that Marilac's gonna be working with the medical clinic here. Marillac is a great place to go. I myself have muscular issues and they helped me get to where I am today, getting the help I need, getting it fixed and figured out on what we need to do to solve the issue.
People just make assumptions on a person's standing and don't understand the trials and tribulations that they go through. I'm working full-time. I'm not one of those kind of people who are looking for free handouts and don't want to better myself in the situation. I'm only in this situation because of certain financial responsibilities I wasn't able to meet, not because I don't want to work. I enjoy my full-time job. I enjoy what I do. I love it a little too much, but it's tough. I mean, I struggle, I scrape, I try to budget, but at the same time, I still feel like it's not enough. But with Homeward Bound now helping with this new shelter and this new facility, it gives me a little bit of relief knowing that I don't have to struggle quite so hard to make ends meet, to support my family, to make sure my daughter's well taken care of, my wife's well taken care of. I can ease a little bit of my burden and try to get myself financially stable so I can put us in our own house. But every once in a while, you need that help. You need that step up just to get to where you're going. And it may take a little longer than you expect, but as long as you stick with it and don't, teeter off your path, you're bound to make your goals. It's repetition, it's tedious, it's not fun all the time, but as long as you stick with it, keep moving forward, don't look back, you'll make it to where you need to go.
We hope you enjoyed learning about the Pathways Family Shelter.
Be sure to like us on Facebook and Instagram and sign up on our email list so that you can stay up to date on the latest at Homeward Bound.
Please donate now, or better yet, become a path builder and support Homeward Bound with a reoccurring donation.
We want to thank you again for watching today. Be on the lookout for more videos with an in-depth look at Homeward Bound and the people we serve.